Absolutely. We're definitely blending right into the next conversation. And right here with me, I have Adrian, a filmmaker, storyteller, known for blending intimate character studies with bold visual style in works like EJ, No Means Maybe, and The Wives. Welcome to Wake Up Nigeria. Is this your first time on the show?
First time on the show.
I'm embarrassed. Okay. So now let's talk about production for you. So now, I mean, myself and Adrian went to law school together. So no, we went to Uniben together. Yeah. And then it's been a journey. It's been a journey for you, especially because people tell me, how did I switch over to entertainment? I think you are in the best position to answer that question. So how is it that you studied law and then now you're where we are? What happened? What's been happening all these years?
I think, for me, storytelling has been like a very intimate part of my life. Okay. You know, like from when I was a child, I don't know if you remember those Ugo C. Ugo books that we had in primary school. Yeah, like
they scarred me.
Like before I think I was 6 or 7, I'd read all the stories in them.
Oh wow.
Right. Yeah. So very passionate about storytelling. And then I started writing books and stories a long time ago. Never published, but I just kept on writing. And then in 2017, I wrote one. A story called No Means Maybe. And then a friend of mine who is now like my partner, Nwani, read it. And he was like, Adrian, we need to turn this into a film.
Into a movie, yeah.
Into a film, yeah. And so we did No Means Maybe, which was our first project, first short film. Budget was like 400K or 500K.
Wow.
I was the executive producer. I used my rent. That was my rent savings to fund
bring
it.
That, wow.
That was Lucky's Orire Nwani. He was his first project as a director. Was Joshua Oluwalu's first project as a producer.
Wow.
So we all just came together and basically figured, you know, our friends were the actors, their houses were the sets, you know.
Talking about bringing the dream to
so that's sort of like how we, you know, started. And that was the first project. And then I think since then it's been huge growth.
Wow.
I think because, you know, telling stories is extremely like integral to like African culture and how, you know, how we feel.
About Hills by Moonlight and things like that.
And I feel like it's also important in terms of setting the context for like important conversations. And so we've always tried to tell what we felt like were important stories. So we did No Means Maybe, which was about sexual violence, but we also did EJ, which is about police brutality. And, you know, we recently did The Wives, which is just around like family life, a series we produced for the Elevation Church.
Okay, yeah, so we're actually going in that direction. Now, of course, coming from a 400K budget for a film, and now where we are, where we're telling the stories. Now, I love the fact that the stories you're telling are very conscious of your environment and the times. So let's talk about the wives and talk about the budget. And let's talk about, the intricacies of production on that set, pre, during, and definitely post.
I won't say a lot about the budget specifically, but it was, let's say it was in the hundreds.
You tell how we know you grew.
It was north of the hundreds of millions.
Oh, wow.
Right, yeah.
It was north of the hundreds of millions.
Hundreds.
I love it.
Of 100 million, let's say it like that.
Yeah.
And I think that was an EP, it was a sponsored project. So we worked with the Elevation Church on that project.
Okay.
Cost quite a bit of money to do. But making film in Nigeria is expensive. And it gets more expensive every day.
Yes.
To get quality actors, you know, to get the right crew, really expensive, hotels, accommodation. If you want to do things right, I think because there are two ways to make films. You can mass produce your films, you know.
The way they do now and dump it on YouTube and all that.
Mass produce, like you're just shooting, you know.
Back to back, yes.
But you can, and then you can, you know, premium make your films. And I think when you watch something mass produced and you watch something premium made, you can tell the difference.
Like, just speaking on that quickly, just tell you kind of person Adrian is, I've never, even the one that you do not have budget for, I've not appeared in any. I think I read it one time.
You
that's to tell you that in one. No, that's because that's what I do. To tell you what the process is like. Getting in is like, well, what are you feeling like? Anyways, so now let's talk about. You were talking about The Wives, right? Talking about mass production and then premium production. So now, what do you think about that idea? Some people will argue that the idea of mass production now gives filmmakers and even sometimes actors, the control of their talents, where they can decide, okay, you know what, I want to shoot a movie tomorrow, and that gives them a stream of income. Some people believe it's building the industry, but then again, from you that literally takes your time to do that, do you think there's a place for it, or do you think, you know what, no, just premium produce?
No, I think there's a place for it. I feel like different types of films have different places in the market. Because, you know, we need to be entertained, so we need to create content. And I feel like just making film is the best way to make film. So a lot of people need like an entry point. You need to just make films. So if you can make a $5 million film, $7 million film, you go ahead and make it. But I feel like we also need to make films that, you know, will last. Just from setting a tone or a standard for the industry perspective, right? So I think that's where the, like, say, premium segment comes in. Like, films where we've taken our time to think about it, you know, the kinds of things James Cameron was doing with Titanic or with Avatar. Like, I'm setting a bar on what film making should look like. And I feel like we need to make that investment. We aren't yet there setting the bar, but at least for ourselves, like, we're pushing ourselves constantly to do that.
Okay, great. So now let's talk about AI Lagos. So now that happened over the weekend on Saturday, to be precise. So tell us, what is the whole idea of AI Lagos about?
As we all know, AI is changing the world. And if you don't know, then you're already late. So I think for us, it was, we say our focus is responsible representative AI. And I think it's important for people on the African side to understand AI is literally like, I don't say garbage in, garbage out, but it's like what it is being fed is what it brings out. So if there's no representation of our African stories and African context in building out AI architecture, then we're going to end up with a world where we're all relying on tools that are not built for us, that are not designed for us.
That's very smart.
Which is something that's happened in the past before we old technology. So I think here is about, for us, it's AI is not one of those things where it's like only the tech guys, you know, that need to know about it. So we're building a community for everyday people, like creatives, and we had someone speak about creative economy and AI at our event. You know, career people, artists, filmmakers, and we all come together and say, like, how is this thing going to impact our lives? How can we participate? What should we be like learning or knowing about this? And that's sort of like what we're building with AI Lagos.
Okay, amazing. So I mean, Saturday we had the event. What was that like? What were the speakers like? What was the outcome like? And of course, the feedback. What is it like going on?
Very, very enthusiastic. We had I was an invite-only launch event, so I think we planned for 60 people and we like maxed out 60. Nice. Yeah, we had a few very interesting people come to speak. One of the guys who came to speak is the founder who's building an AI product that basically takes text in like English and can turn it into like 3 major Nigerian languages. And that's useful for like if you're building an app, for example. Right, you can basically now build your app so that you use this product behind your app.
So we actually need that. So very quickly, let's talk about the vision of it. Because right here at TVC News, we actually have the AI anchors, and then we have it in different languages, and we have people that have to do that. So I'm sure that'll be very useful for you. So very briefly now, because we're short on time, let's talk about the future of AI Lagos. What are your projections, and what's the goal?
I think for next year, a few things. We want to clearly expand the community so we have more people learning and talking about AI. I think we set a very small target of like 500 members. But we also want to educate up to 20,000 people about AI. And then this will come in like different ways, you know, virtual sessions, but also in-person sessions, just to sort of ramp up the number of people who understand how AI will impact them, impact their lives. And we're also thinking of ways to drive innovation, bring in like the students community, run hackathons. I think so. For us, the next year is mostly about like just driving, let's say, awareness and a base understanding of what AI is and how it impacts our lives here in Nigeria.
All right, amazing. I know we were talking before the interview started about, and there's a lot of plans, a lot of projects that you're coming up for 2026, and well done. I'll say that. You keep on changing, and I mean, I don't even understand. I mean, we started from here we are. But I mean, I love it for you. Thank you so much for being here with us, and all the best with everything you do. I'm definitely one of your members, even if it's unspoken. I mean, all the very, very best with your next and hopefully you'll be back here with us for another conversation on another project that you're doing and all of that. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming here. All right, and that's all we'll be taking on this interview, but still so much more happening right here on Wake Up Nigeria. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.